So we're always amazed that this happens every time we hear it, but it seems like it's happened again. Another teen goes missing, a decade later is found. Basically another sex slave horrific story, and this time apparently it's her mom's ex-boyfriend who had kidnapped her. Is that are those the right details?
Yeah, it's her mom. She was 15 when she disappeared, and now she's 25, and now she's come forward saying that her now husband is her kidnapper, and they had a child together. He told her that her parents, her mother didn't love her, and she apparently felt like she had no options, and she was with him for 10 years.
So how did she finally get the courage to, or what happened? How did they find her?
She found her sister on Facebook, and through that communication got the courage to say what had happened to her. But this is complicated because neighbors describe an idyllic life, that this family was really happy, that the kidnapper was a great guy. So this one is bizarre.
A lot of experts are saying this is a defense mechanism, a Stockholm syndrome, and it's very similar to a wife bailing out her husband and refuse to press charges. What's really amazing to me is like you said, Annette, the neighbors say that they would hold hands and kiss openly, felt like very affectionate, and it's just they're stumped that this was a kidnapping case. But the other interesting part is her mom had actually filed a missing report case 15 years ago, and actually said that she suspected that the guy was the reason why her daughter was missing, but they couldn't really do anything at that point.
So did they think that she was with him? Like, how old was she when she went missing?
She was 15. She was 15, and basically, the guy kept saying, like, if you try and leave me, your entire family will be deported. And that is actually the reason. They said one of the reasons why she stayed with him, because she was trying to protect her family.
Wasn't he the mom's live-in boyfriend?
Yeah. She disappeared after domestic violence.
So are there chances that they knew, that the mom and family knew that she was with him? Like, yes, everybody knew that she was there.
She told the police that she thought he was with him, that her daughter was with him. But they moved constantly, and they were able to stay under the radar.
And he gave her a fake ID.
Yes, several fake identities.
Yeah.
So we have a really touching story about a woman who's dying of cancer, but her family did something for her that was incredibly special.
Yeah, her family flew in dozens of this woman's friends and family. They came from 5 different states, and they performed this flash mob, this surprise flash mob, just to let her know as a last moment that we love you, that we care about you, that you mean so much to us. So it was a really touching, emotional moment. The woman's reaction, you can see it on the flash mob video as well. It's really heartwarming, really beautiful. Just they're letting her know that she's loved in her last moments of life. It's beautiful.
You cried yesterday, right?
Yes, I cried. It brought me to tears. It was very beautiful just to know that people care about you and people love you. And as you're dying of cancer, they don't want the last memories that you have to be heartbreak and to be sad. They want you to know that you're loved. So it's a very beautiful moment, beautiful video.
And that's so sensitive. How many times have we been in our morning show meetings and Lynette said, I cried?
It's the new me.
It's the new you.
I'm still gangster, like don't get it twisted.
So Dave and Kurt, you guys were telling me this morning there's a lot happening basically in the golf world, but not on the golf course, right?
Right. How about that? Bring it.
I'm using that.
Back to you.
We've got romantic issues with golfers. Rory McIlroy, former #1 in the world, was getting married to a former #1 women's tennis player. The wedding invitation showed up, and he freaked out and said, "It's off."
Why? It was too real at that point.
He realized the reality of getting married crashed in on him, and he called off not only the wedding, but the entire relationship.
What? The reality crashed in on him?
Like,
how old is he?
25.
Oh, okay.
No, that's not.
No, like he knew.
He knew, but that is still young.
He's the one. He asked her. He got on his knees and he said, "Will you marry me?" Like, you can't just renege like that.
Oh, yeah, he's
Apparently, yeah.
People renege after the wedding.
It's a lot cheaper now.
Right.
I love the only thing he said was, "It's time to move on."
Jeez. No.
Like cold-hearted snake.
Golf is getting sexy though.
You need to use that Paula Gilson.
And then what about,
There's
Elin, right? Elin's talking?
Okay.
Use that.
Is Tiger's ex talking too?
Meanwhile, another golfer who maybe should have not got married, Tiger Woods, his ex-wife Elin is talking about their relationship, and apparently it's all good. Nothing to see here, move on. They've got joint custody, Tiger's a great dad, they're in a good place. I'm sure we can all sleep better now.
She's got a billionaire boyfriend. She's fine. She's moved on. She's done well for herself.
I just remember when we covered that story, we cut a video, just a scroll of the pictures of the women.
The mistresses.
The mistresses kept coming in.
The alleged mistresses.
Well, I think Elin saying Tiger's a great dad is significant just because a lot of people who fault Tiger for his indiscretions say, well, he's a terrible husband, which may be true, but they also impugn his fatherhood, which they really have no idea. Just because you cheated on your wife apparently doesn't mean you're not a great father.
She still mentions that he betrayed her, and that what did she say? The word betrayal isn't even strong enough. So she takes in a little dig. So, and you know, a news story basically comes from our team. Yesterday, as many of you noticed, Mike wasn't on air. It was Christy who hosted, and it was because he got into a car accident. And we posted that just because a lot of people were asking where Mike was, and we got a gigantic response on Facebook. Well wishers, or where are you? What's happened? I mean, it was constant. So we posted it, and you're going to see some of the responses. What were they? Some of them, Kurt, or.
Well, first of all, this was his baby. This was his '01 Honda Accord, 260,000 miles, and he said it was running like a top. So this is how it met its demise in this tragic accident. But again, nobody's hurt, so that's good. But yeah, responses were all over the place telling Mike what kind of car he should get next, or why was he driving such an old car, and that kind of thing. So we'll ask you guys, what do you think, what car should Mike get next?